Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Hour 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2, OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It is now time for the OTB Top 25, and we are getting to number 9. A quick recap. At 25, it's Boise State. At 24, Memphis. At 23, Baylor. At 22, Georgia Tech. At 21, Tennessee. At 20, Iowa State. At 19, Texas A&M. At 18, Indiana. At 17, Ole Miss. 16, Florida. 15, Texas Tech. 14, SMU. 13, Arizona State. 12, Alabama. 11, Miami. At number 10, it was Illinois. And at number 9, Alondra.
At
Blank
number 9.
Space, Villarreal.
I'm excited.
I'm going to do it, guys.
Oh, no.
I'm going to do it.
No.
Do what?
Texas.
I'm putting Texas at
Let's go.
Do what you get.
I'm
That's
not
good.
ready to crown them number 1. Not ready to put them in the top 5 yet. I just feel like they have so much to prove. I feel like that's kind of the storyline for Texas in general coming into the season. Obviously, Arch Manning, we've talked about it ad nauseum about how he has so much to prove, all of this pressure on him because everybody's crowning him the Heisman winner in the preseason before we've seen anything from him. But they lose 12 of their starters. A lot of their defense is returning, but the defense also finished ranked 3rd last season. They only have 1 returner on their O-line, so that's a little. And Steve Sarkisian himself also said that that's probably his biggest concern 2 weeks out into the 2 weeks out from the season. But they lose 2 very productive wide receivers, but they keep Wisner, who was very, very productive for the offense, rushed for over 1,000 yards last season. Like I said, they lose Isaiah Bond and Matthew Golden, but they return Ryan Wingo, who had some playing time last season, and DeAndre Moore Jr. They both had like over 400 receiving yards. And then they get Khalil Lockett, who's a true freshman, 5-star recruit who's poised to make an impact on this team. And they do have a pretty favorable schedule. But does anybody here in this room think that they'll win the opener?
I do not. I think they lose to Ohio State.
I think they lose.
Yeah.
They lose by double digits.
Not by double digits, but they'll lose.
I'm actually with you on that one.
Boom. Horns down.
Texas is really good defensively.
They're great. They're great.
Ohio State is good. No doubt about it. They got the best player in the country in Jeremiah Smith, I think. Texas is really good defense.
Yeah, like I said, they're returning
My
basically all of their
offense.
defense.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And those are where all my questions are. I think that's where majority of people's questions is on the offense. So
I don't know if it is. They're ranked number 1 on everything.
fair. That's actually fair.
Ark is going number 1 in the draft next year. Are there questions?
For me, there are.
Well, their polls don't matter.
Their polls don't matter. The only one that matters is the OTB poll. They do get a couple of defensive linemen in the portal. They had like a very quiet portal haul, only 5 players that they signed. But also another big loss for Texas is Gunnar Helm. And he was you talk about safety blanket. He was Quinn Ewers' safety blanket, but they go into the portal and they sign Jack Indries from Cal. And then another wide receiver from Stanford who had 525 receiving yards last season. So they do replace some of it. They do have some returners that are wide receivers, but they don't have Matthew Golden, Isaiah Bond, Gunnar Helms, and I'm going to put them at 10. Or 9, sorry.
9.
When we get all the way to 1, can we, as a stage, make a press release with our top 25 and see if people pick it up?
We should.
See how far somebody can pick this up. Radio station in North Dakota talking about these idiots.
I think we should.
Did you see the put Texas at 9?
Texas radio stations.
Should we not put Baton Rouge on it and just be just put it out and people are like, whose poll is this?
ESPN radio.
What poll is this?
Yep. Love it.
Texas schedule, we all know at Ohio.
That's where I was at.
Yeah, at Ohio State. Alondra, what does it look like after you play the Buckeyes on the road?
So you host San Jose State, and then you host UT El Paso. You host Sam Houston. So again, a favorable schedule, but then you go to Florida. And if DJ Lagway in Florida is as good as everybody's saying they are, then they might have some troubles there. They host Oklahoma, which that's played in the Cotton Bowl usually.
Yeah, they're the home team this year. Yeah, that's going to be obviously in Dallas.
At Kentucky, at Mississippi State.
Those are wins.
Then they host Vanderbilt, at Georgia, which is going to be tough. Host Arkansas, and then they also end the season hosting Texas A&M, which might also maybe be a tricky one.
It's a little stretch for them to end the season. Now, 2 of those games are at home. Look, their schedule is certainly not one of the more difficult ones in the Southeastern Conference.
Wasn't last season.
It was not, and now it's just flipped, and just where they play the games different.
Red River shootout, buddy. You're going to get them. Fear Mateer.
You do have you've got a Georgia problem, and so you're playing at Georgia on November the 15th, and then you have 2 rival games against Arkansas and Texas A&M. Again, both those games are at home, but with this schedule, I think that's maybe why a lot of people like Texas as well. It's the schedule.
Yeah.
When you look at theirs compared to Oklahoma's, or theirs compared to Florida, or theirs compared to even LSU, it doesn't compare, right? Right now, look, I give you a lot of credit for going to play Ohio State on the road, but I'm talking about just the conference portion of this. You go against a 15th ranked Florida team and a 19th ranked Texas A&M team. So your schedule really comes down to at Ohio State and at Georgia for me, which is 2 brutal games. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But outside of that, everything else feels like you can manage it.
Yeah.
I think even if they lose game 1 to Ohio State, probably still picking Texas to go 10-2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough in Florida. I think Texas is a better team. They could lose the Oklahoma game, but you get past Florida and Oklahoma, you're likely not losing a game until you get to Georgia.
10-2, losing the playoffs. That's a good recipe for number 9 in the country at the end of the year.
Very fair.
Some are saying, I know ball.
I love their defense. Their offense concerns me a little bit, not because of Arch. I think Arch is going to be good.
Yeah.
We do have to see it, before we can anoint him the king of college football. But they lose their top 3 receivers from a year ago. Now, Sark did a great job. Brought in 2 different 5-stars. Khalil Lockett, but also Jamie French, who LSU wanted very badly. You get Wisner back, but Jaden Blue, he got you a lot of tough yards last year. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys now. He's gone as well. As good as that defense is going to be, the offense, I think it's going to be good, but out of the gate, you got to play a good defense like Ohio State. So I think they're going to sputter a little bit out of the gate, but I think Texas is going to be really good.
What's the line?
4.5.
4.5. So, interesting comment in the chat right now. Somebody said Texas would be favored over Ohio State if it was at Texas. Is that true? I don't think so.
I think probably.
Favored?
I don't think they'd win, but I think probably.
You think they'd be the betting favorite?
Probably.
Right now.
I think so. I mean, just look at them on paper. They're not that dissimilar.
Yeah.
And I mean, what? If they're a 3.5 point favorite,
now
they say you get
the line's down to 2.
Okay, so
the Buckeyes.
They say you normally get 2 to 3. Yeah.
Still think it'd be even money.
Any more thoughts on the Texas Longhorns? I think, obviously, they are going to go as Arch Manning takes them. I think their defense is going to keep them in every single game that they play this year. I think it's going to be one of the best defenses in the country. Can their playmakers make plays? They get some running backs back from injury. That's going to be big. They return the only 1,000-yard rusher in the SEC. That's also going to help any young quarterback. The receiver position is going to be critical. The offensive line is going to be critical, but it's going to go as Arch Manning goes. I think we can all agree there.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Sarkisian, pretty good play caller.
It's a pretty good play design.
But you got to worry about the longevity the team's going to have. They are not real hydrated.
Ooh.
So I think we kick them out of the top 10.
Because of that?
Because of that.
Okay.
It's making me rethink some stuff.
Horns down.
All right, the Texas Longhorns.
I'm with you.
The number 9 team.
That was a pun. I got no beef.
In the OTB top 25. Tomorrow will be number 8. And then on the final day, if you're trying to do some quick math there, you're wondering, wait a minute, you don't have enough days. Actually, number 2 and number 1 will be on the Friday before the opening weekend of college football.
That's going to be a good show.
There you go. Number 9, the Texas Longhorns. All right. We will take a break, and when we come back, Dr. Stephen Ethridge will join us. We'll talk about some of the injuries going across the NFL. We'll do it right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to RussellPools.com. That is the website for Russell Pool Company. 225-924-2527 is the number. Give them a call. Schedule today. When you go to the website, though, you can find a full list of services, and I always say it is from start to finish and then everything after as well, because they can be there for the construction, the maintenance, the retail portion of it. They can be the maintenance for your pool after they build your dream pool in your space, in your backyard. So go to the website, check out a full gallery of work. Know they can customize your pool to whatever you have imagined in your brain. That is RussellPools.com.
Yeah, the most trusted pool experts in South Louisiana. The name that you think of when it comes to quality custom pools. So if you have a dream, if you have an idea in your mind, you've been wanting to pull that trigger for years, well, now is the time. Give them a call. They can take your dream into reality, completely turnkey the entire project from start to finish. Go visit them. Give them a call. Go to RussellPools.com.
Slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play?
2007 champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn. Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
Slowly fade away. So I start a revolution from my bed. 'Cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, one of our absolute favorites. Dr. Stephen Ethridge joins us now. Feels like old 6 to 8 radio.
Right,
old nighttime
right.
radio back in the day. A little hanging with Hester.
Yeah, we get a little weird at night, but this was like the one segment that gave us a little legitimacy to actually talking serious. So we're bringing it back to the mornings.
Might be giving me too much credit there. But.
No. All right.
You got doctor in front of your name, so yes.
So, we obviously going to talk some injuries here with Dr. Ethridge, and more than just get into, okay, this guy and this injury, what's the timetable? Just the injury itself is typically what we kind of get into there. So obviously there's, some Saints offensive linemen that are down. There's some Saints tight ends that are down right now. But, okay, so turf toe is one of the things that is keeping a Saints offensive lineman out right now. And we were kind of joking because I had the same thought as you had growing up when Deion Sanders had turf toe. I remember hearing that as, 10-year-old, whatever it was. Be like, turf toe? Man, if I told my dad I can't go out there because I got turf toe, you know what he would say to me? What is turf toe? And how long is that recovery? And when you go out there, is it a situation where you can try to get back too soon and, just continue to hurt it?
Yeah, it's funny because, like you said, it's one of those things that just doesn't sound like a big deal. It's a toe injury. We don't think a whole lot about that. But when you're talking about a turf toe, it's specifically a big toe injury. So the great toe, the big toe. And sometimes they'll lump a few different diagnoses in that category. But technically, when we talk about a turf toe, it's an injury to what's called the plantar plate. So that's on the bottom of the toe. So it's the area right at the base of the big toe. And what happens is that toe gets hyperextended. So if your foot's kind of bent and you come down the front of that toe in that hyperextended position, especially if you have like all your weight come down on, or somebody falls on the back of your foot or falls on your body, you can sprain or even tear that ligamentous kind of capsule under the toe. And so then every time you try to push off, and as much as we don't think of toes as being that important, especially that big toe, if you think about how much with a sport you're up on your toes, right? You're pushing off everything you do that's explosive. So even as a lineman, when you're getting out of your stance, when you're having to kick step and come back and land on that toe in that bent position, every time you're hitting that tear, every time you're hitting that injury. So while it doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal, I mean, it can be excruciating and functionally very difficult.
Is it something that you can continue to like make worse? Or is it a pain situation? Can you continue to just look every time you go out there, it just kind of hit reset?
Well, like a lot of injuries is about severity. So turf toe, if you have a mild, kind of a grade 1, that's more of a sprain. You kind of stretch it, you kind of irritated it. Those are the injuries you can kind of play with. Those guys, we'll sometimes put like a carbon fiber insole in the shoe that gives a little more rigidity to the shoe, so there's a little bit less bend to that toe. Right. You can do the typical, therapy, anti-inflammatories, all the normal stuff that we do. And that, you can usually play through that. Now, when you start getting into grade 2, that's a partial tear. That's the one that, we might boot that guy for, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Oh, wow. Kind of keeping them kind of, to let that heal. But those will heal. And then you can have a full tear. So if you push these guys back too early, you could tear it. Full tear is usually going to be surgery. So that's, potentially season ending if that's the case.
Can we come up with just a more better name for it? Because like what you're explaining here, it's like, that's like a torn tendon, like in the bottom of my foot at my big toe. Right. Let's just come up with like a little bit better name, more severe. They say like a torn Achilles or a torn ACL, everyone's like, whoa, man. Well, you say turf toe.
It does make it sound really bad, and I guess you can always use fancier words, a sprain of the plate at the first metatarsal phalanges. Okay, turf toe. If you want to get it, exactly.
Never mind, I take it back.
Flows a little easier.
That's right.
So, but with a plantar though, I don't know if you've ever had like plantar fasciitis. I've had that, and they're like, it's better to actually have that fully tear than maybe just have something partial that's going to continue to just aggravate you. Like I actually heard mine pop. Whenever I did mine.
Plantar fascia, they just feel better when they tear. It's chronically inflamed and irritated. Plantar fascia, compared to the toe, because it's not quite as structurally significant. That big toe being able to flex and push off of it, if you have a complete disruption there, functionally you're going to be limited.
Oof, man. I want to talk about, we brought him up, you got a friend of the show here, and he will clap. So first preseason game, couple plays into the guy, play. An experienced vet, so excited to get back to New Orleans. So it's kind of heartbreaking to see him go down with an injury so fast in a first preseason game. So he has a Liz Frank injury in his right foot. Can you kind of explain what that is, from a medical standpoint, what a Liz Frank is, and what is actually tearing or breaking in the foot?
Yeah, so with Liz Frank, it's kind of fun because at least a little more mysterious name there. It's not quite as
it's a fun name,
lame as a turf toe sounding it was. But so this is an injury more in the midfoot. So another foot injury. These are unfortunately not that uncommon in sports. Right. Typically, this is going to be a little bigger injury. I mean, there's all, again, degrees of severity. Is this just a mild Liz Frank sprain versus a complete disruption? But you have this area right at the base of what are called your metatarsals. So the metatarsals are the long bones in the foot. They're the bones that kind of go from the midfoot to the toe. Yeah. So we have one that basically lines up with each toe. So you have 5 metatarsal bones. And at the base of that second metatarsal, where it articulates with the rest of the foot, these smaller tarsal bones, you can have a disruption of a ligament there and potentially break the base of that second metatarsal. So Liz Frank injury is really some combination of one of those two things. There's a ligament and a bone, sometimes both, sometimes one. And just like we were talking about with the turf toe, if it's a mild sprain, that might be something that we can kind of boot up for a little bit. We can sort of work with it. But once you get a true disruption of the ligament, or if you have the fracture injury, that joint becomes unstable. And an unstable joint in a foot that's carrying all your weight, especially a big guy like Will, that's not a good injury. So that's usually going to be surgery. You're usually going to have to go restabilize, put a screw in, put some kind of a tight wire, depending on where the injury is, and then let that heal.
Man, you start talking about all the different injuries just in the foot alone. I know, right? And how many different things can go wrong.
Yeah, I was about to ask you for Liz Frank, is it a surgical situation? So you're talking, it could be, depending on the severity, plates, screws, things like that.
Right. And I'm not sure with Will's situation. I haven't heard the official, but if you hear he's out for the season, my assumption is more than likely he's getting that fixed.
All right, so ACL is something that, we talk about probably more than any injury in sports. It's the ACL, and it's the how long is it going to take to get back. Now, obviously, if we were having this conversation 20 years ago, like we're not even really having it. It's like, nope, done, out, see ya, doesn't matter. It's going to be like a full calendar year, like 12 months, and we're talking maybe even longer than that. But now we're seeing guys come back, I think, much quicker from that injury. The Saints got a couple tight ends that are dealing with that they happened at the end of last year. Is it possible for them to have that in December, January, and then assume that they can help you out in September?
September's hard.
Yeah.
We've had guys probably kind of in that 8-ish month range, probably on the short end to make it back. That's where we are now. And like you said, that's much faster than what it used to be. But unfortunately, that's probably the shortest you're going to see. And for somebody to get back at that 8-month, it really needs to be a perfect case scenario, just an ACL injury, because sometimes when you damage the ACL, you can have meniscus and cartilage injuries with it. And everything that goes into that slows the recovery a little bit. And then you just got to really just have really good fortune. We're very lucky, with our athletes that we have so many resources. What we have today, even compared to a few years ago, let alone when y'all played or when I played, even which wasn't that long ago. The advances we have,
appreciate it.
It's the rehab, it's the nutrition, it's knowledge, it's better surgical techniques. There's a lot of things that go into it, but unfortunately, you're still looking at several months. That the graft has to heal in. So when it's an ACL injury, you basically make a new ACL. It's not you don't go in and fix the old one. So that new ACL. Basically, we have to see it mature. We have to see the bone around it grow in. We have to see all that. Then you've got to get your muscle strength back. You got to be fairly symmetric to the other side. You got to have good balance, proprioception, and basically teach the body to use this new knee.
Right.
Because technically it's not the same knee it was. So you have to kind of learn all that again. So that whole process takes months. And if you rush it, you're probably going to re-tear it and come back just weaker and not as functionally well. But again, re-injury is the big concern.
How has over the years, how often does that surgery for an ACL? Because I would say from season ending, it's like the most prevalent one for a season ending type injury. Like, what has all changed? Because I know there's been periods of time where it's like cadaver, there's been, you take hamstring muscle, like you take different things. So what is that grafting process now? Like, what are the specifics? Why it is so much better and faster now than it was, probably 5, 10, certainly 20 years ago?
Yeah, so some of it, like you said, there are different grafts. Most of the times we're using something from your own body. So you can use cadaver tendons and ligaments, but the problem with those is sometimes they're a little bit weaker. There's a little bit more risk that those may tear again in the future. So we find that if we're able to use your own body's tissue, we're able to do better. Usually that's coming from either your hamstring, the patellar tendon, or the quad tendon. Those are the big three that we're typically using. You'll talk to different guys. That's always a debate in our circles, which one's better, and there's some reasons why each one probably has favorability over the other. One might be a little more durable. One might get you back a little quicker, and we could sit here and have a whole scientific discussion on which is better that could last days and probably not determine it to everybody's satisfaction. But the reality of it is what we've found is that using your own tissue typically goes better. And then those techniques for how we get that, going in and harvesting, because if we're taking a portion of your patellar tendon, well, not only does that ACL have to heal, but that patellar tendon has to heal. You might have patellar tendonitis problems down the road and things like that. So we got to be really careful with how we're harvesting it. But I think a lot of it is we've learned the perfect amount to take, the perfect place to put it. Where do you put the tunnel in the bone? There's so many different variables that go into it. And I think once we've kind of researched it and gone back and been critical of our own work, we've been able to get to a pretty good point. But it's still a hard surgery.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dr. Ethridge, obviously, we can't talk LSU injuries, and that's the team that you work with there, and we're not going to get into any injury. I'll just ask you one question that I think you can answer. Have you ever had to explain what tendonitis was to more people over a short period of time?
Yeah, that's for some strange reason been an interesting topic lately. Tendonitis, and it's funny because in my clinic I tell patients tendonitis is one of the quote unquote weird problems. Because you doesn't, again, kind of like a turf toe, it doesn't sound that bad. It sounds like this kind of mild little thing, but tendonitis, just like the turf toe injury, there's a lot of different severity. It's a hard injury sometimes to treat because the tendons don't have a good blood supply. I tell patients all the time, if you ever look at a piece of steak, you have this red piece of meat, but a portion of it starts to turn white. Well, that's the tendon because of poor blood supply. So that lack of blood supply can make these injuries hard to heal. So yeah, it's a weird problem that has a lot of variability, and yeah, we've definitely been talking about tendinopathy lately.
Yeah, Doc. I know we're not talking about anybody specific, but y'all did a really good job of replacing Nuss's leg when it fell off a couple weeks ago. Really good job. That surgery was quick. He was on the field, so good job.
Yeah, proud to be a part of that. You know,
proud to be a part of that for sure. Really good job. Good stitching. No, so I've just been curious over the last couple of years. I felt like I went the first, let's just say 35 years of my life, maybe saw one athlete tear an Achilles tendon. It seems like there's 10 a year now. Like,
true.
Why is it just something that wasn't diagnosed in the past? It's better diagnosis of it. Was it called something different back in the day? But why is there so many Achilles injuries right now in sports?
You know, it's interesting. There does seem to be more. You know, I don't know for sure if there is or if it's just something we're more aware of. That's always one of the questions. And there is a lot of speculation. You know, part of it is surface. You know, we always talk about grass versus turf. Could that play into it? True. You know, I'm not saying it does or doesn't, but it's something that comes up a lot in our discussions. And then I think part of it too, you have guys that are bigger and faster and stronger. I mean, I swear every year I see these guys coming in, and maybe it's just because I'm getting older and smaller, but they look bigger and faster and stronger every year. And the thing is, you know, it's all about physics. You put so much load on any structure, eventually you're going to reach that peak. So if we're talking about bigger and faster and more explosion, you know, sports have become more year-round. If we look at sports right now, they're training more and more, and while that might make them bigger, faster, stronger, it's more wear and tear as well. So I think it's probably all those things.
I don't know if Kirk Cousins fits that mold, though. You know? Or Aaron Rodgers, for that matter.
It's fair. Well, it was turf, though. So
it was turf. You're right. It's
I
interesting. It's wild. Though. It's like
turf.
I mean,
I do too.
We've talked the Achilles. It's so crazy how that is such a prevalent injury right now, everywhere, and I don't understand.
I don't ever remember hearing it when we were playing. I mean, like teammates.
I don't remember a lot. You know, and again, it's maybe that's just the memory thing not working as well. But I'm with you on that.
All right, Doc, before we let you go, if you don't know, Doc played football at Florida State. Florida State didn't have a great year last year. They had 2 victories, one against an FBS team. Opening up with Alabama. I mean, what a great way to get back on track.
It would be a great way. You know, I want to say I have confidence in my Seminoles, but in that one, you know, I'm just hoping for a close game and hoping they do well. And it was a rough year.
It is at Doak, and they upgraded Doak, and they've got new facilities found. I know Jimbo was screaming for that's really the reason he left and went to Texas A&M.
Yeah, the facilities needed an upgrade, and I'm glad to see they're doing it. I'll tell you, it's a beautiful stadium. If y'all never been, it's one of, in my opinion, I'm very biased, one of the prettiest stadiums, But yeah, I hope they have a good year. Last year was rough, you know, a tale of 2 different years the past couple, but hopefully this will be closer to 2 years ago.
Yeah.
College football's better when Florida State is at least relevant, right?
I agree.
For sure. Auburn tried to take away y'all's 1993 national championship yesterday, though.
I know, right? Gosh.
Good year by them.
Yeah. Florida State won it that year, but it sounds like maybe Auburn thinks they did as well. Dr. Ethridge, we appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Doc.
All right, we'll take a break. More OTB when we come back here, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, go to pelicanroof.com. That is the website for Pelican Roofing. 5-star reviews right there on the homepage. It is Google, it is Facebook, it is Yelp. The internet hates everything, but they love Pelican Roofing. If you need a roof quote today, you can get your price right now. Instant roof quote, top right corner of the website. Always remember, boots on the ground in Lafayette, in Baton Rouge. They are not driving back and forth on the basin. They have offices in both. They're always doing things in the community in Lafayette and Baton Rouge as well. So go to the website today, book your consultation. That is pelicanroof.com.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's commercial, residential, whatever. If you need gutters installed, they got an in-house sheet metal facility right there. So give them a call. And financing options, we know roofs is a big decision for you and your family. So check out their financing options right there. Give them a call today and go see them at pelicanroof.com. And we talked about this financing option. We're talking 0% for up to 21 months if you're a qualified buyer. So check them out. Let them help you. The most trusted roofing company around, pelicanroof.com.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
I didn't mind. It's not my kind. It's not my time to wonder why everything
As Daniel Basham says here in the Bayou 4 chat, finally some bush tush.
Finally.
I'm just kidding. He said bush push.
I didn't even think about the bush thing earlier.
Yeah.
I do love bush.
If you missed what we're talking about, we're talking about the Reggie Bush bush push.
Push touch, push.
Yeah. Then turned into because we're child.
Because we're children with immature brains. You're welcome.
Is what it is.
Happens.
Is what it is.
But we did bring some intelligence to this studio. It's gone now.
It's gone.
But for a little
It
bit,
is since
there was
left
some
us.
high intelligence here.
Since left us.
Thank Dr. Ethridge. We appreciate it. We are going to try, depending on schedules prevailing for him, to make that a more common segment, maybe a weekly segment, because we just find it fascinating. We all hear the injuries. We talk about them. We hear players all over the NFL with, there's something new that pops up every single year with something happening. So we're going to be able to get an inside look from a doctor's perspective on an orthopedic and somebody that works with athletes on just taking a deep dive and educating us all on the specifics of that and the specifics for the treatment, the surgeries, and what they're actually doing. So it's really cool stuff that he's willing to do that.
I have heard turf toe. I've talked about turf toe for a long time. That is the first time I actually know what turf toe is.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of just like a hangnail.
I thought it was more like a big toe sprain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my toe hurts.
Oh, my toe hurts. Yeah. You got ingrown toenail there, Bob?
Yeah, stumped it on the turf.
No. So I've got a different perspective on that. And hopefully we're going to have Dr. Ethridge join us on Wednesdays. And so any injury throughout the NFL, any with obviously the New Orleans Saints. Now, again, he is LSU team doctor, so we're not going to dive into LSU. But, just injuries in general. Like if you see them pop up, we can talk through them, talk rehab process. Dr. Ethridge was such a great asset for us, if you remember, when everybody was having tightrope surgery.
Cool.
Remember Tua Tagovailoa had that in 2019. It was like, wait a minute, what is this? And so
every year it's something new. Like there's some sort of injury or surgical technique that is the hot technique. The tightrope, man, I forgot about that one.
God, because it was like we hadn't talked about it.
Yeah, it was like a high ankle sprain, right? It wasn't like a severe thing, but they did a pretty severe surgery for a fairly common injury.
Yeah, that's something's going to keep you out, maybe
a couple months, maybe a month,
maybe 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 to 6 weeks. And it got you back in 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, is a juice worth the squeeze, I guess, at that point would be the question. But, if it's your quarterback and you've got national championship aspirations, I guess, I guess it is. Ooh.
Old Tua. I got will do anything to say
like old Bud Kilmer,
He will do anything to throw a couple passes on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
God bless him.
Toughness to a fault.
Toughness to a fault.
Maybe, which I appreciate. I love it. Love the fact, but
oh man,
Coach Kilmer's got that needle. Keep that thing away from my knee.
I swear to God, that needle comes anywhere, nigger his knee. I'll rip your arms off and beat you over the head with them.
Why in the hell did you sound just like James Vanderbeek right there? How many times have you seen this movie?
Because I don't want your life.
Oh, that was actually scary. How
that was actually Billy Bob who said that. R.I.P.
I know, but you sounded just like James Vanderbeek.
It's called the Oop-de-Oop.
Is it Mississippi Valley
Mississippi
State?
Valley scores 40 points a game with this offense.
Yep. That
Mississippi Valley.
That they do. I wonder if the Saints can get back either one of those tight ends during the season and when that's going to be. I mean, ACL, it's not 12 months anymore, but also, can you come back in 9? I don't really know that information. It's a position where they need some help.
Doc just said it's tough.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably person by person too. And I'd like to get in next time he's on about what they're doing for recovery too. So the grafting and the techniques are a lot better. Certainly get you there a lot faster, and it's not a career-ending injury situation anymore. But the techniques because there's stem cells technology. Like there used to be PRP, but now it's more stem cells. Like how is that all? And it depends on how your body accepts them, and like it's just individualized so much. And then the physical therapy, it's like how accomplished are your PTs and how quickly can their program. But it's one guy, they might both be in great shape. They might be doing the same things, but one guy's body just responds to those stem cells or PRP or whatever it is a little bit more. The white blood, I don't need to be talking medical stuff, but you get it.
You're doing a great job.
You get it. I had stem cells.
You were convincing me.
Thank you.
White
blood cells,
knows
right?
what he's talking about.
And I do.
Yeah.
People don't think I do, so they're going to discredit it. I had stem cells multiple times. Stem cells gave me tendonitis right here on my elbow. He talked about how the tendons don't get a lot of blood flow, I learned a lot about that. It gave me probably 2 to 3 years extra stem cells and dry needling.
When we first started doing this here, I guess 2018, I think it was the first year we started doing Hanging with Hester. Does that sound right?
Sounds right.
I don't know if you remember, but yeah, we had a stem cell sponsor for a little bit, and they did it on my knee, like full on, like took it from my love handles, did the whole spinning it up, put it in my knee. And there was a big portion of my life where I couldn't drive past like 30 minutes. If I was cruise control, cool, but I couldn't have my foot on the pedal like on a road trip. Like my knee, I had a Baker cyst. It would swell up where it would go to sleep, and you'd have to like hit it and try to like move it around, get some blood flowing. And man, I had that procedure. No more trouble.
It's wild.
No swelling.
So they took it, the stem cells they extracted that from fat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I said love handles. I think that's,
Well, there's different ways to
better
extract
knees and lose love handles at the same time.
Well, no, you don't lose them. It's not like lipo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't take that much, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, sounds perfect.
Yeah, they get it. And I mean, dude, I was in the office for a morning. I mean, I was there for like 4 hours.
Done.
And when I say like I couldn't do anything without my knee just like swelling and getting to a point where it's like it felt like it was going to pop. And so you know how it is, like, and just like you can't bend it. So I'm a full believer in getting
for sure
that done.
I got my tendonitis in training camp in Seattle, and it was like debilitating bad. Like I took a liver killing amount of anti-inflammatories like to practice and to be able to play. Right,
celebrate.
And so like at the end of the year, I go to a medical facility, a famous medical facility, and I get I do the PT there. I would do PRP, and I don't throw for 2 months. I pick a ball up, and at that time I was getting traded to Oakland at the time. I pick a ball up, I throw it, it hurt the exact same amount. So I leave, I come back to Baton Rouge, I start getting dry needling, I get introduced to stem cells, and I got stem cells for the first time like in August, in the middle of training camp in Oakland. And it doesn't work at first. Like they have to take over, they have to be accepted, and they have to start doing their magic.
Yeah.
And so this stem cell came from the crown of my hip. Yeah. So they extracted bone marrow out of the hip, spun it around, got the stem cells, and they mix it with your red blood cells, your PRP. They put it back like right on the spot.
Right.
It was a wild procedure too, because like I hear the zzz, they're drilling in my hip. I'm awake for all this. Like you're seeing they're doing it by ultrasound too, so they can see where the needle's going in. I see like my ulnar nerve, and I'm like, it's like so close to it. I'm like, please don't hit it, please don't hit it, please don't hit it.
Right.
That would be awful.
Yeah, that'd be real bad if you didn't have any feeling in your fingertips.
So they're like, okay, this is going to take 8 to 12 months to ever feel. Or 8 to 12 weeks or something like that to start feeling the effects, maybe 6 to 10, something like that. Well, I didn't feel any relief, but 2 months later, I'd been released from Oakland. I'd gone to Buffalo, and I got back to Green Bay. That time period, my 2 weeks in Buffalo, I started feeling better.
Yeah.
And then when I got to Green Bay, hardly any pain at all.
Yeah.
All pretty much gone. And then there's a little bit there lingering. Went back and got another round of it in the off season. I've never felt again.
There you go.
Wild. And so
I know it is.
I would not, if I didn't find that, like if I would have said, all right, the PRP doesn't work, my treatment doesn't work, I'm at like this big institution famous for being able to heal people and treat people. It didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, what do? I can't keep taking these anti-inflams like I am.
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
Yeah, you're chewing them like they're Tic Tacs.
Yeah, so I did, and then I played 2 or 3 more years. So.
What year was that?
2012 is when I got the tendonitis originally. No, I still played. Like I went to Oakland, huge effect on me.
Well, because I just remember when Peyton was having the stem cell therapy on his neck, he had to go overseas.
That was
a lot of people.
That was the same time period.
Yeah, so it said Peyton had it in 11. So like, but I remember they said it wasn't like super readily available.
No,
here.
I mean,
so it was right after
the live reads that I was doing for this company. Like it was in the library. Like you used to have to go to like Germany for this, and then you could do it in Baton Rouge in 2018.
So when I got them, I flew to Denver to get mine because there was in Colorado you could do it from bone marrow, which is the most effective one, at least at the time it was, or known to be. And what I'd heard, I don't know if this is true. Never asked questions, but it was like these people are one of the reasons why Peyton also kind of went to, like, he had that kind of treatment available to him for his neck.
Real quick before we take a break, I think we have a new tagline for this show, and it's thanks to our guy Scott Dice inside the Bayou 4 chat.
Okay.
Welcome to OTB, where we are made up of stem cells, CTE, and Toradol.
I like that. And it was Indocin for me.
It was Toradol for me, so you're on the right track. You want to put that where? Straight into the IV before the game? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Main vein that.
All right, on that note, I can't beat that one. More OTB when we come back.
Off the bench.
What's up, dude?
CentralPlumbing.org, 225-925-8552. 24/7, 365. Weekend, holiday, game day, does not matter. If you have an emergency, they will always be there, not only in Central, but the greater Baton Rouge area. 225-925-8552, again, is that phone number. Go to the website today. See what they can do for you in the remodel game. See if you can go tankless with that tankless water heater, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, tankless means like that hot water never runs out. You
Never.
You can turn your faucet on, and it's not great for the environment, but like you can just let it run for hours. It'd be hot the whole time. So commercial, residential, I'll tell you, they did it for us. They help our house with 24/7 emergency service, but they also completely outfitted our manufacturing facility over at my house. So like they can do it all, big, small, no matter what it is. And again, emphasize 24/7 emergency service. Give them a call or go see them. Centralplumbing.org.
Seven champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn, Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
Brush your hair back from your eyes. Take you down, let the river flow. Sometimes I'm gonna walk the street.
All right, welcome back in OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hey, where's our box? What'd you do with that?
Come here. Oh.
What did you think Dr. Ethridge was going to steal it? Oh. Some pretty big cards in there. We got our the cards that we've been talking about for a long time. Some of the
about a month ago,
the old big boys.
About a month ago, we sent off 5 cards. It was our biggest cards that we had raw, and we sent them off to PSA.
And even it takes a month, even when you pay the extra.
We paid the extra for the expedite. It took a month. So right here,
no big deal.
Look at that beaut right there. See this little cardboard box? So we are going to actually open them. We're going to do it on the show. We're going to give them a little tease. We're going to make a video. What do you want to do? So we're going to see what we got graded right here. Big boys.
We got 2 minutes. Can you do it in 2 minutes?
No. The people need to know. We need to spend lots of time on it. On our sports cards.
Oh, those are sent to Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. Dragon Flynn, domestic shipping.
I've got to know like what the carrier, like when he's printing that off, he's like, Dragon? Did his parents hate him?
The FedEx guy was like, hey, got a package for Dragon? Yeah, buddy, that's me.
That's a self-given nickname there, Mr. Delivery Person.
Evan. Not on my birth certificate. Yours truly gave it to yours truly.
Yeah, the card grading stuff it's fascinating to me, just with how much more value it can bring your card. Or, honestly, if you get a bad grade, like, you can kind of keep it the same, even though you went through this entire process, and sometimes even keep it right at the raw number.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting market.
Because it is not, it's kind of like judging like a gymnastics meet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's parameters you stay within, there's things you look for, but at the end of the day, it's kind of somebody's opinion. And there's a big swing in value based on that final opinion, right? Again, there's parameters they work. I know there's centering, there's edges, there's corners, there's like things that are obvious. But to the naked eye,
to these eyes,
they should all be 10s.
They should all be Billy Bobs.
Or we wouldn't be sending them in if we didn't think they were beautiful and perfect.
Yeah, it is wild. The amount, certainly of bigger cards, the bigger you get, the more it matters. Like, the difference between a PSA 9 and a PSA 10 and the value of that card, even though it's just one number away. It might be one little centering issues. Maybe it's just this one little small thing and what it does to the value.
So we're all going to find out if we hit the big boy value or we just wasted our time and money. Which is what a lot of the card game is.
And emotions. And our emotions. We've got Would You Rather Wednesday when we come back. We've still got Dear Alondra, so go ahead and get those Dear Delandra questions in the Bayou 4 chat as well. We'll have it for you when we jump back on OTB.
Off the bench.
And make the Dear Delandra good for the 9:15 segment, right? Don't half-step into the Dear Delandra, all right? Give us some good stuff because she's going to have some great music to go with it. All right, it is always a good time to go for a dose, but what a great time it is. Tailgating season is here. We have games this weekend. You have an LSU game, not this Saturday, but next. You have a home game coming very soon. So when you put up the tent, you put up the TV, you have the ice chest ready to go, you need to pack it with the best in the business, and that is Dos Equis. It is always, as we said, a great time to go for Dos.
And we tell you, it's always a great time to go to dosequis.com as well. Put in your info right there. But look, we live in South Louisiana. Everybody likes to have a cold pop. Everyone likes to relax socially, hang out with your buddies, tailgate, whatever it is, weekend. Make sure you go for Dos, a cold, delicious Mexican lager, whatever it is. Get that green bottle, pop a top, delete some beers, drink responsibly.